Blog Talk Radio.
What's going on, folks? It's your boy, Long Beach Joe, and we are back at it, okay? We back at it, man. You know, we're here to talk about the Jets today. We're going to talk about everything that the Jets have going on. I'm so excited. Going to talk about, some guys that are floating out there as well that can help the Jets O-line. David DeCastro. We're still trying to see what's going on with Morgan Moses. We're also going to cover the Jets D-line, so we'll get into that in a second. So, listen, I am the man of the people. I am here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on The Long Beach Joe Show. So without further ado, folks, let's go ahead and get into the show. I am fired up. I am fired up, people. I'm telling you. I've got it. Today is my day. I'm just feeling it, and we're all feeling it, man. I'm so excited about this football team. You can also listen to my show as well on Blog Talk Radio, Long Beach Joe. Go on Blog Talk Radio, search Long Beach Joe. It'll be there. Also, you can check my show as well on iTunes. The podcast uploads on iTunes as well, the audio from the show. You can go there on The Long Beach Joe Show. Search that on iTunes. Go there. Follow, subscribe to my iTunes on there. And also give your boy some feedback, man. Leave me some 5-star ratings. Give your boy some feedback. Tell me, how much you like the show. Tell me what you think of the show. Always love hearing from people. I'm also on YouTube as well at Long Beach Joe Jets. Long Beach Joe Jets is a YouTube where you can see, the show as we go live. You can hear the audio as well. So we go back and forth on there, too, and have a great time as we live stream the show, too. We also game on that channel as well. We play some games here and there and really connect and have a good time, as friends, on that show, or on that channel, excuse me. So we have a blast. So listen, with all that put aside, I cannot wait because I'm so excited to talk about the New York Jets and, the moves that we could possibly make that are still out there, guys that are still out there. I'm excited to talk about this football team and the defensive line. Some of the expectations for the line, some of the young guys that we're excited about, Quentin Williams and, other guys that we have on this team. We went out and got lost in this offseason. I'm so hyped about so many additions. But before we get there, as everyone knows, I am a Jets fan that grew up in California, okay? That's what I am, and everybody knows that. The name is Long Beach Joe. That's Long Beach, California, And I love this football team, to death. And I do. We all do. We come here and we talk Jets and we talk about what the team, is doing and all those things. And one thing that I love doing is connecting with fans from different spaces because there's a lot of fan clubs and a lot of people doing a lot of great things to bring people together that love green as much as everyone watching loves green, as much as I love green, as much as everybody loves this team. They're able to bring people together and just have a good time watching the team every Sunday or when they play Thursdays. And whenever this team is on the TV, they're able to bring them together and have a blast. So there's so many clubs out there doing great things. And today I really wanted to highlight the Ohio Jets fan club and Mac Levins. He's doing so many good things out there in Ohio. So I'm going to have Mac come on, and we're going to talk to him about what he's doing out there and how many great things he's doing with his club. So, Mac, salutes to you. I want to thank you for coming on, man. How are you feeling today?
Joe, I'm doing good. Nice to talk to you again. Been listening to you for several years, as you know, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, you have. Thank you again, Mac, for supporting all of my content, and thank you for listening and watching, man. And I want to get right into it with you, Mac, because you're doing so many great things out there. What made you become a fan of the New York Jets initially?
I'm sorry, Joe. Would you mind repeating that?
What made you become a fan of the New York Jets initially?
We got a lot of fans out here that, just like you are, native Jets fans, but I did grow up in the New York area. I think it was, I'd want to say late 70s. I'm older than I sound. I really don't know why I became a Jets fan, Joe. Both the Giants and the Jets were not good then. So, it was pick one or the other, and I picked with the Jets, and I've been with them ever since.
Okay. Yeah, and what was crazy, Mac, is that a lot of people have different stories of how they became fans. Some people, were not fans at all, and they maybe went to a practice because they were in the area where the Jets are practicing. You hear a lot of Hofstra stories and all those things. Some people just like certain players and just became Jets fans because of their players that they liked, like Wayne Corbett, or there was a lot of people that were Keyshawn Johnson fans that just followed him to the Jets, and they became fans that way. And some people just tripped and fell into it. And some people, their families just mandated it. They were born and, when they were old enough to realize what football was and, how to figure out what the game was, they were just told, listen, you take this jersey, this is the team you're going to be a fan of, and that's the end of it. We're not going to hear anything else about it. You're going to wear this green jersey, and that's what it is. So it's just always lovely to hear, how certain people have become Jets fans. But how does your fan club come about out there? Because, like I said, you're doing great things out there in Ohio, man.
Joe, it really started. I just had met a few Jets fans. Then I saw a guy with an Ohio license plate that said NY Jets 1 on it, and I said I got to find this guy, and saw him a few times, and then I saw him at a practice. At a baseball tryout, and I tracked him down, and we ended up becoming friends and coaching lacrosse together. He actually played Hofstra, and kind of went from there. Once I had a few guys, I just decided that I'm going to use Facebook as the primary tool and try and build it from here. And ever since then, I've been. Most of the growth of the fan club has been because of my recruiting that borderlines on creepy.
Well, sometimes you gotta let people know what's going on. But can you tell us, where you folks hang out? What do you folks do? How do you folks connect and things like that? Mac, what's the best way for people to get in contact with you so that you don't have to, kind of chase after people and stuff like that?
Yeah, I throw business cards in car windows, stuff like that. Anything it takes to get it done. I recruited a heavily pregnant woman at a gas station once, all kinds of stuff. Now, we got a Facebook page, which is New York Jets Fan Club of Columbus, Central Ohio. It's easy to find. As far as where we're meeting, we've picked up a lot of new members over the last few years. And a few of us, on certain side of town have gotten together. But I'll tell you the difficulty, as you might know, Joe, the difficulty in being in out-of-market town, and you'll get this in L.A., you've got 2 or 3 teams to compete with. And here in Central Ohio, there's a ton of Browns fans, there's a ton of Pittsburgh fans, and there's a decent amount of Bengals fans. So guess who plays all their games at 1 p.m. on Sunday? All of those teams and the Jets. So it's near a doggone possibility trying to get somewhere with a screen to watch the game, and I haven't yet found a bar or restaurant owner from the New York area who will let us put it on and let it be a Jets bar. So what I'm doing, Joe, this year, we're going to do a little outreach. I'm going to move watch parties around to different parts of Columbus. It's a fairly not like LA, but a fairly spread out metro area. Do north, northeast, west side, all that. But I found a place. I found a great bar with 3 screens and a big room, tables and chairs. Good beer, good booze, reasonably priced. And that guy is going to give us that room. And I'm going to have some watch parties there, and we're going to stream the games.
Okay, that's awesome, and it's great to hear that you're doing those things. And Mac, even when you're talking about the struggle of the being an out of market team and things like that, what is it like being a fan locally? Like, do you guys always get ran over by those Bengals fans? I know a lot of people are big, college football fans as well. What is it like? Do you guys get hassled a lot as well out there wearing your green?
No, nobody cares. I mean, there's so many Browns fans and Pittsburgh fans and Ohio State fans. Nobody cares. It's kind of being an object of curiosity. But, this is a town that has a fair amount of transplants. So, you'll see everybody's fans around here. And, of course, we got plenty of Buffalo people here and Green Bay fans and and Cowboys fans and all that stuff. So, but we got a small, hardcore, loyal group of Jets fans, and I've been growing this club any which way I can for about 5 to 10 years, and we're almost to the point where we've got some serious momentum.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's amazing, Mac. Now, we're going to get just a little bit away from the club. I want to talk to you about this football team, man. I want to ask you a couple of questions about what we're doing here. What were your thoughts about us drafting Zach Wilson, man? How did you feel about that when we took him in the first round?
I really don't know, Joe. I think I've said to you before that I've kind of set myself free from overanalyzing stuff. After so many decades of bad decisions by the Jets, I kind of believe that Joe Douglas is the guy. I think he's going to lead us to the future. I think he hired the right coach. Super excited about that. And I just got to kind of relax and leave it in Joe's hand because he's the guy getting paid to do this, and I trust that he's going to do a good job. And I don't know if I'm super excited about Zach Wilson, but he's our guy now. So I wish him well, and I hope he doesn't get busted. I just think he might be a little frail.
Yeah, well, I know that a lot of people had a lot of concerns or questions about him, especially, again, with us moving on from Sam Darnold. I know there was a lot of different, opinions or takes about Sam, and some people wanted to keep him, some people were ready to move on from him, but, clearly we moved on. We went and got Zach Wilson, and we handled business there. I'm excited to see what he can bring to the table. Like you said, there's questions. There's some injury questions, concerns there, but he's got a big arm. His football IQ is pretty solid, and he's a guy that, is a hard worker as well. So I'm excited to see what he brings to the table. I'm excited to bring what he brings to the table. So, Mac, my final question before I let you go is, man, who are you excited to see for the New York Jets? What young player are you the most excited to see? Are you a guy that wants to see what Elijah Moore has to bring to the table, Quentin Williams? Like, what player are you really looking to have a breakout season for this football team?
I really think there's several guys, Joe. Who knows if Mims is going to really put a good season together, and I'm definitely excited about Elijah Moore because the Jets almost took that first round and we fell to them in the second, and I think they were hugging each other and kissing each other when that happened. He like Wilson, he sounds like a guy who really, really is a student of the game and really wants to be good, and he's a freak athlete. And, this Carter kid, this running back, it's like all of a sudden we have weapons, and we haven't had any weapons that scared anybody in so long. It's sad. We didn't scare anybody in any facet of the game.
Yeah, Mac. I mean, we're definitely headed in the right direction now. We've been strengthened at so many different positions. Our wide receiver core has definitely been bolstered a bit, brought in Corey Davis, and like you said, Elijah Moore, getting him in the second round, which was a shocker. Mims, wants to see what he does in the second year. There's so many good things to be excited about with this New York Jets team. So, Mac, before I let you go ahead and give everyone all of the contact points that you can give them to get in contact with you about, your fan club and where you folks meet again.
The primary way is the Facebook page, Joe. New York Jets Fan Club of Columbus / Central Ohio. I can't remember the Twitter handle. I don't think it's been in much use. And I appreciate you having me on, and love your show, and thanks for doing it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mac, for coming on. It was awesome to speak with you, man. Keep doing what you do out there. You have yourself a good night, all right?
Take care. Thanks, Joe.
All right. Listen, Mac Levins of the Ohio Jets Fan Club, let me tell you something. Mac is a Jets fan through and through. Listen, that guy knows his stuff. He absolutely knows his stuff. Again, salutes, and hope everybody in the Ohio area, or if you're just visiting or anything like that, please go there. Again, the Ohio Jets Fan Club, it's on Facebook. Search that up. Go talk to them. Go meet with them. Go hang out with them. Chill with them and have a good time, man. It's always good to hear about things that people are doing to connect Jets fans around the entire, around the entire globe. You know what I mean? So it's always good to hear those things. And again, with me being a Jets fan that isn't, in New York, I'm not in Jersey, I don't live there, it's always great to just connect with Jets fans within my local area as well. So we're going to keep, doing that as well. We're going to keep talking to these fan clubs and chatting with people that are bringing people together. I always love to see that. People bringing, our Jets brothers and sisters in green, bringing them together and having a great time, cheering this football team on. Because it's tough. It's tough being a Jets fan sometimes, man. Y'all know, do I have to, go on about it? It's been tough, especially in the recent past, but things are changing. So before we get, we're going to keep getting into the show. We're going to talk about a lot of things. So we're going to start off with the New York Jets being able to bring in Morgan Moses. It's got a 1-year deal. I think it's $3.6 million base, on it. So this is exciting, man. We've got this guy. He's being brought in now under that 1-year deal. Things are changing. This offensive line now looks a bit different. Again, there was a lot of people in the past talking about him coming in as a right guard. I don't know. This guy's coming in. He's going to be a right tackle. So now when you look at our offensive line, you got Mekhi Becton on that left tackle. You got Vera Tucker as your left guard. You got, your center is set there with McGovern. Your right guard is a question. Is it going to be Cam Clark? Are you going to move forward with Alex Lewis? What's going to happen? Greg Van Roten, we'll see what happens there. Maybe they go after DeCastro, which we'll talk about him in just a second. Maybe he ends up being our right guard. And now you look at the situation at right tackle, and you have Morgan Moses there. That's a solid signing. This was a guy, again, that just kind of fell through. The Washington football team had released him. There was a lot of talk about different things that, a lot of rumors out there. But we got the deal done. He's in the building, And so this is a good look, man. This is a really, really good look. And let me tell you something. This is big because Joe Douglas has set a precedent here. He is clearly showing you that he has a plan, and he's going to follow through with that plan. If you look at one of the reasons why our offensive line struggled so much in the past, it was because we could not protect our quarterback. We couldn't properly protect young quarterbacks to even be able to evaluate them properly at all. We saw Sam struggle with that for years throughout his time here. Joe Douglas is doing everything so that Zach Wilson, the guy that he selected, will not be going through that stuff. He won't be going through it. He's fortified our offensive line. He's going to continue to work at that, too. We've seen that. Made sure that he has weapons outside there as well at wide receiver, the guys that he can throw the football to. This guy, Joe Douglas, continues to show us that he's going to do whatever it takes to get the Jets to the next level. He's going to do what it takes, man. He's going to do what it takes. And it's very, very, man, I'm telling you, it's amazing to finally have a competent general manager in the building. Because for years, we've dealt with nonsense as Jets fans. For years, we dealt with people that didn't understand how to draft, that didn't understand how to utilize the draft to make the football team better. For years, we dealt with people that didn't understand how to properly evaluate free agents and get them in for deals that would work for the team and not hamstring us down the line. For years, we dealt with general managers that just didn't know what they were doing. For years, we dealt with that. You look at the Mike Maccagnan era, and you'll see all those things. You'll see the bad signings, the Tremaine Johnsons and the Spencer Longs and the bad things he was doing along the offensive line, the bust that Christian Hackenberg in the second round, and just all that nonsense, man. Just all that nonsense. All that is gone now, man. All that is gone, and we have a guy in the building that understands what he's doing. He understands it. He gets it. It's a different time, man. It's a different time, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited about being a Jets fan. We also have, there's also a possibility we might end up with David DeCastro as well. For those of you that, don't know about David DeCastro, he was released by the Steelers a few days ago. They released him with a non-injury release. You know, the Steelers kind of think that he may have hurt himself away from the team facility, so they moved on from him. They just recently signed Turner off of free agency as well. We all know DeCastro, 6-time Pro Bowler. And, you know, there's some question marks about his ankle. That's the big thing with him. I know a lot of people have already penciled him at that right guard spot, but there's some question marks there. So we're going to talk about that tonight, too. I want to hear from y'all. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639. Call in. We're going to talk about it tonight. I'm going to open the lines. We're going to get right to it. But I'm looking at DeCastro, and I wouldn't necessarily knock the signing if we did it, as long as it's a deal that works for the team. And, of course, I don't think Joe Douglas is going to vastly overpay him, but he's a guy that can help. My only question, and it's a big question, is the health. What is going on with his ankle? If his ankle is, solid enough, again, he's had surgery. We know he missed some games last year as well. If that ankle can hold up and he can be okay, let's bring him in. Let's continue to fortify this offensive line. Let's continue to, make sure that our guys up front our quarterback gets protected. And not just that as well, let's continue to bring in guys that can open up holes so that we can run the football effectively too. That's a big thing that I think a lot of people are not talking about as well. So we're going to get into it. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639. Call in. We're going to the line. So I'm going to go ahead and get into it. I'm going to 845. 845, I'm coming directly to you. You look like a new caller. Give me your name. Tell me where you're from. And give me your thoughts about the New York Jets bringing in Morgan Moses. How are you feeling about it?
I'm feeling good about it, man. I'm Donovan. I'm from New York, Poughkeepsie area, upstate.
Oh, okay. Listen, hold on, Don. We got to get off the bat. You are a savage, my man. I see you in the chat.
Oh yeah, Joe.
He is savage.
Oh,
he tried to sneak in.
Oh yeah.
Bro, don't try to sneak in.
And I want to start with love. I love your content, everything. But listen, man, I've been having smoke with you ever since you mentioned whatever you said about my Knicks, man. I don't appreciate that, man.
Yo, listen. I'm looking around. Listen, everybody wants to bash me. I'm not a Knick hater. I just tell the truth, bruh. That's all I do. You know what I'm saying? I understand people want to give me smoke. Listen, don't have smoke with me. Have smoke with Julius Randle. Okay? He's y'all.
Listen.
Don't blame me.
Well,
no, I'm not the one.
Now he on the boat with LeBron with your team watching the playoffs. he watching the playoffs with your squad too.
Yeah. Well, but here's the thing, though. We done won some championships recently. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what do you want?
What more do you want from me?
I'm not. Hey.
Recently. What has Julius Randle won y'all? I'm just question. That's all I'm asking.
Hey,
just some quick questions.
Randle played well this year. I'm not a huge Randle fan. I was one of the people saying, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it's all good. All right, so let's get back to these Jets. People are already trying to get on me because of my Knicks take. So what are your thoughts about the Jets bringing in Morgan Moses, and how do you feel about this offensive line now?
I've been waiting for them to sign Moses since they announced that they had him in the building last week. I don't know what took so long. I'm just happy that they got him. I'm happy with the upgrades on the offensive line. I love AVT, of course, the big boy backed in. But I still have questions. McGovern, you got to show me something this year, man. You got to show me something. Show me that you're worth the contract that Joe gave you. And then as far as the right guard position, listen, I do not want to see Greg Van Rotten in there. Put me in. I'll take $100,000 for the season. It's no big deal. The man was a turnstile. I don't know what was going on.
Yeah.
I think my 6-year-old can do a better job than him.
Yeah. He
was madness.
He definitely. There was a lot of question marks about that guy this season. I mean, he missed some blocks. There were some key blocks that he missed this season, and we saw guys get blown up because of it. And that's why, for me, I understand people are talking about Van Roten. I get it. And even some people are even talking about how, hey, maybe Alex Lewis has a shot there. What are your thoughts about Ken Clark possibly being the guy, man? Do you think that he'll be – again, I know we didn't see anything from him last season because he didn't play, but could Could Joe Douglas have been sitting him on the sideline saying, let's just wait for the next guy to come in here because we all know that this guy Gaze is going to be gone. So do you think that Cam Clark could end up being our starting right guard this season?
I think we need to give him a look, give him a chance, let him get some quality playing time and see what he is. That's what I feel about a lot of these guys. Bryce Hall, the guys that we brought in last year, they came in hurt. Mims, all these guys, they came in hurt. And they didn't get real minutes under Adam Waste. He was a waste of time. I remember when he first got signed, I remember the video you put up. I was like, oh, boy. But, yeah, I mean, I want to see what Cam Clark can – we drafted him in the fourth round. We didn't see anything about him. Even in the OTAs, we haven't really heard anything about him. So he's like a question mark. It's kind of like, what are we doing here with him?
Yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens there. But then, like I said, I think that Cam could possibly end up being the guy. But there's another guy out there that people are screaming for. What are your thoughts about the idea of the Jets bringing in David DeCastro? How do you feel about that? And are there any concerns for you with the Jets possibly, going after him and maybe signing him as well and having him play at that right guard spot?
I don't mind it. I think depends on the contract for me. I don't want him because I've heard that he's flirted with the possibility of retiring. So we got to see what's going on with there. And what does he have, the ankle or the knee injuries history?
Yeah.
Which is fine. I mean, injuries are a part of the game. But I wouldn't want to take away quality minutes for a young guy and not see what we have with the younger guy. If he can come in and if he wins that starting role over Cam Clark or one of the young guys, then, of course, put him in if he's your best option. But I wouldn't mind him being a backup and kind of grooming the young guys. We have a young squad, so especially with the offensive line, it's going to take time for those guys to gel. And I don't want to see just, okay, well, we signed him and he's a veteran, let's just throw him in. If he wins, like I said, if he wins the spot, then I'm fine with it. Of course, put your best players on the field. But I wouldn't mind him in a backup role and grooming some of these young guys for what they're about to see if he's going to be in a teaching role.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens. Like you said, he has flirted with the idea of retirement, so maybe that's more on his mind. My biggest concern is that ankle. If he, and again, I understand, he's an older guy, offensive lineman. He's been in the league. He's, really put on and made Pro Bowls and all that stuff, in his career, and that's great. But, can he hold up? Because, again, we've seen in the past where injury issues along our offensive line costed us. I mean, we saw when Mekhi Becton was out with those shoulder injuries and all that stuff, man. We saw the shake-up along our offensive line. It was not good. And Sam was running for his life, and that's the last thing I want is to watch Dak run for his life as well because we're missing guys here and there. So I want to go to the other side of the ball with you, Donovan, because there's a lot to talk about along the defensive line as well. Do you think that Carl Lawson will get 10 sacks this season, man?
Listen, I'm cautiously excited about this team because they broke my heart a million times. So I don't want to really give numbers, but a range for him, for me, to be anywhere from a 6 to 8. I don't know if he's going to get double digits. There's a lot of monsters on that front line. I mean, you got Quinnen Williams and you got the guy. There's that front. You still got Franklin Myers. He played very well. Fatu Kasi played well for us. I'm interested to see what those guys do in the next year here, if they can build on whatever they did last year.
Yeah, I am as well. And so my final question for you, Donovan, because, again, like you said, you're cautiously optimistic. I want to see what Lawson's do. I think he has a chance because, like you said, there's so many guys that are monsters and beasts up there. Maybe he's a guy that, is just able to get in there and slide in there and get his 10 this season. That would be huge for the New York Jets because, again, we have not had a legitimate pass rusher in years. That's been one of the issues along our defense. We've always had to send blitzes. We've always had to send extra guys just to get some type of pass rush. So if he can muster up some legitimate pass rush for us, that's going to go a long way. But my final question for you is, you brought this up, man. You brought this up. You talked about Quinnen Williams. Are you concerned about that foot injury hampering him this season? Are you concerned about those issues that he has kind of rolling over? Because we've seen the injury issues with him as well. He had a neck injury last season. He missed time. He ended up on the IR. Do you think that we'll see that this season with him as well and not have that breakout season that we're all hoping?
No, I think he's going to make the steps. I think as long as he's rehabbing properly right now, there's plenty of time before we even get to training camp. And even in training camp, he can rehab throughout that and then be prepared. Even if we lose him for the first 1 or 2 games, I mean, it is what it is. I still think that because even with following him on social media and things like that, he's in the past, from his rookie year to where he is now, seeing his off-season stuff that he posts, he's on a mission. Now, if his body can hold up, mission complete, you know. But, I mean, it's football, and injuries happen. So I think he will make that step. And I'm not really too concerned about the foot. I'm more concerned about Becton's foot than I am of Quinnen's.
Okay, yeah.
I think Quinnen will be able to bounce back. I think he'll be all right.
Okay, yeah. You know, there's people that have no questions. I just, you know, I'm a little worried because we've seen this issue before. And, again, he's a big guy. I know that he's, you know, that they're taking care of that foot and he's gone, you know, and done his thing. But I want to see him really step up and break out this season. But listen, Donovan, I got to get back to these lines. They're keyed up. Thank you so much for calling in tonight, man. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, all right? I want to hear from you, bro, because you know your depth, you know your takes, man. You have yourself a good night, my friend.
All right, Joe, take it easy.
Now you have a good one. Listen, Donovan calling in with the fire, man. He knows his stuff, man. He knows his Jets, right? Yeah. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639. Call in. We are talking Jets. The lines are open. We're going to keep going to the lines. Again, salute to all the savages in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Give my stream a thumbs up wherever you're watching it from. Also, share my stream if you can. If you want to hit me in the super chat, that's there. Whatever you want to donate, you know, it's greatly appreciated. If you do not want to hit me in the super chat and you just want to hit my Cash App, it's right there at the bottom of the screen. Go ahead. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing. Anything you guys give is completely appreciated. You know what I'm saying? But everything's free here. Let's just keep in mind, you don't have to, but if you'd like to, again, it's greatly appreciated. So we're going to get back to these lines. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639. Call in. So now we're going to 845. We're going to 845. This is a very solid Jets fan. He knows his stuff. Salute to you. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. Give me your thoughts about this Morgan Moses signing. How are you feeling about it?
What's up? What's up, Joe? I'm doing great, man. I'm feeling really happy right now. You know, me and you've been talking since you've been started this radio show, and I remember when we had at the end of last season a talk, and I was like, next off season, I want the top offensive line in the NFL. And Joe Douglas is well on his way to doing that, man. And it's not like we'll see how they perform, but what I like about this signing the most is that, and you mentioned it on the last call, Becton has a foot injury, plantar fasciitis.
Yep.
So he might not. Last year, he didn't start all the games. I think he started less games than Sam. And this year, who knows how many games he's going to start? If he can start 75% of the games, I'll be happy. I'll take it because I know how plantar fasciitis can linger. So hopefully, you know, he starts more games than I think. But with Morgan Moses there, that's kind of an insurance policy, and you can move Fant to the left tackle, or you can move Morgan, depending on how they want to do it. You know, we'll see. But George Fant's a swing tackle, and he's going to be right there on the bench to take the spot for Becton, which if people forget that, you know, George Fant played left tackle in Seattle. So he that's what he thought he was going to play when he came to the Jets, but they obviously signed Becton 11th overall last year. So yeah, I'm supremely excited, man. I really am impressed with the way that Joe has handled this offseason. I think last year's offseason was his first full offseason as GM, where he got to draft and everything. And yeah, we drafted James Morgan. You know, we let go of Robbie Anderson. We could have signed him. I think he learned the ropes of how things kind of move in free agency last year. And this year he was able to really finesse. And he doesn't and he's not just throwing money out there. He's like, hey, listen, I put a price on people, and he just negotiates, and he's not going to pay more than he needs to. And I think we got one right there. We got a good and then I watched Flight. I'm not sure if you've watched it. The Jets put a documentary out I think, like 2021. And it seems like the whole the whole front office has chemistry. And that's what I'm seeing is that, and I think it stems from the top with Joe. And it's a representation of who he is and his character and what he wanted to build. He said he wanted to build a good culture. And I think we're on our way to doing that. So I'm so excited right now.
Yeah. And, again, I want to thank you for calling in. You brought up an extremely important point. And I was going to talk about that as we continue to go on tonight. But the importance of, again, Becton with that plantar fasciitis on his foot, like you said as well, how that lingers. And I talked to people about this last week, and everybody just thought, it's just an injury. He'll be fine. It's like, yeah, he's injured right now, and he's dealing with it. But it's something that can always be aggravated and can be inflamed even throughout the season. Anybody that has ever dealt with that or anybody that knows anyone that has ever dealt with that knows that it doesn't just go away. Like, there's times
painful. I think I got it. Yeah, I got it. It's painful, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it. And it comes and goes. You don't know when it's going to come. You don't know when it's going to be there. And it's not something that's easily remedied. So, unfortunately, he's a big dude that has that kind of thing. So, he may spend some time off the field, from time to time. He's not going to play. He might not be able to play 16, 17 games a year on the team if it gets that bad. But I'm going to, praying that, it's not as bad as it can, because it's degrees. It can be really bad or it can be, minor. And we'll see how he does,
Yeah, exactly. But again, the great point that you brought up, and even with you dealing with it, like you said, it comes and it goes. And so if it comes and he can't play because, again, that pain is going to be that extreme, moving Fant over because he played that swing tackle, he also plays tight end as well a little bit when he was in Seattle too. They had him playing swing tackle tight end at times. Right. So look, he can flip and go to that left tackle position and, hold the fort there. And we won't just fall off a cliff like we did last season. If you look at when guys were going out last season, particularly Mekhi Becton, if you look how our offensive line functioned, it was a jailbreak. It was like there was nobody that could block. There was nobody on that left side that could do anything. And Sam was just go back and listen. Yeah, exactly. Go back and watch that Broncos game. Okay, if you want to see what it looks like and Mekhi was playing at first, and then he left the game because he tried to come in. He had a shoulder issue, and then he ended up leaving the game after a couple snaps. And it was complete mayhem out there. Sam was running for his life. He was getting banged around. That was the same game where he took off and just tried to make something happen and ended up scoring a touchdown, running down the field. It was crazy. It was complete craziness. But you brought up a great point there. Just in case things happen now, because we have Morgan Moses there sitting at that right tackle position, we can swing Fant out. So it's also about depth as well. So we don't have to get rid of Fant. We can keep him because who steps in if Mekhi goes down? And again, we've seen him go down with injuries. And not just, again, this foot injury is one thing. We saw a shoulder injury last year. And we saw him have breathing issues that had him miss a game as well. So there's been some stuff there. But I want to get your thoughts on this right guard position, because a lot of people looking at it and saying, hey, there's a huge hole there. There's nobody there that can step up. What are your thoughts about that? Do you think that Cam Clark is the guy, or do you believe the New York Jets should go after David DeCastro?
I think David DeCastro would be great, but I'm not opposed keeping what we got on the team and working with McDermott. We got Roten, we got like you said, we got Chuma, and we got Cameron Clark. So I feel like we got potential there that we can add in there, and I think that with the change in scheme, it'll be beneficial to our offensive line. I think Adam Gase last year, man, he's just a train wreck in all facets of offense. So when it comes to the way even Alex Lewis is saying it, like, we're going to be a lot better this year because, the way that they're set up, and I don't know the end of the lingo, but he's pretty much was saying that the way that this offensive works, the offensive line will be tremendously better. And I think that a lot of people suffered last year. Mind you, it was a brand new offensive line. Greg Douglas' first season as a GM. You got a lot of new talent in there, and it takes time and chemistry to build. So we got some, continuity from last year, and then we got big pieces in the offseason this year that are a veteran. And Morgan Moses, mind you, there's a lot of young guys on our offensive line, so he's a veteran there. I love that. So I think this year is going to be a lot better for these younger guys. Maybe Cameron Clark to fill in and actually perform well with the help he has on the side. If he has Morgan Moses there, and we got the center's name. What's the center name?
Our starting center is Connor McGovern.
Connor McGovern. So we got Connor McGovern, exactly, and then we got Barrett Tucker and Becton. I feel like all in all, that gives that right guard position a little bit of flexibility where I think that they can pick up kind of the slack with the other guys, hopefully, and that's what I'm hoping. So we don't necessarily need to get the Castro. If we do, I'm fine with it. I think that is solid because I'm more than happy to have these guys compete in training camp to see who wants to start and get that right guard spot. But it's not at this point. We have so much depth that it's like a luxury if we get them.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. Again, for me, a big question is that ankle. I need to know what condition that ankle is in. I need to know if he's straight. The fact that he's even contemplating retirement kind of, tells me a little bit about where that ankle could possibly be. Yeah, there's rumors that that's what he's contemplated it. So that kind of tells me a little bit. Maybe he doesn't. Yeah.
I don't want a guy who's already contemplating retirement to come in and say, "All right, I'll give it one more shot." No, if you're already thinking that, then you deserve to go. Like, once you start thinking retirement, I don't want you on my team.
Yeah, well, again, we'll see because we've seen players, do that in the past and be able to come back and really put things together. But, I need to know what condition is that ankle in. I need to know that, and if that ankle is good and he's solid, I wouldn't mind Joe Douglas, bringing him in. I really wouldn't because all it can do is strengthen. But if they don't go that way, Cam Clark, I think, is the guy that can fill in at that right guard spot. I know we didn't see him last year, but I think that there's a reason why Joe Douglas was holding him back, man. I truly believe that. And I think that he'll be able to step in and do some things within this scheme, man.
No, I agree. Cam Clark is that dude. I think that getting him in the third round was the reason that we picked him up. So I'll be excited to see him perform and see what he can do because we really didn't get to see anything for him. So he's kind of a question mark. But if I'm more like at this point, I just want to see them all compete in training camp and whoever's best gets the job. And with this depth, I think that Joe Douglas did what he had to do to get us in the best position to protect our quarterback, our rookie.
Yeah, absolutely. So my next question for you and my final question for you, and again, I want to thank you for calling in because you have had a fire call so far. Give me your thoughts about this defensive line. What are your expectations on it, man? What do you expect of guys like Rankins and Quinnen Williams and even Carl Lawson? What do you expect this defensive line to do this upcoming season?
Yeah, and even Dr. Koss, you got John Franklin Myers, you got
you got guys, man.
Linebackers. There's so much that I'm excited for with this team. It's just going to be super exciting to watch them play. And the defensive line is definitely our biggest strength. So if this defensive line can't perform the way people are talking about it, like it's elite, then, man, it's going to be hard for these teams this season to play to mess with the Jets on offense. If we can close the pocket on these quarterbacks, and I think it's great. I think that all the pieces we have, I think people been talking about it. It just looks like it's stacked, and it's our best unit, and we're going to be relying on them to really put pressure on these quarterbacks, so we can then have our cornerbacks perform well, and we don't have to have them sitting there forever and getting bombed on because our secondary is obviously extremely young and unexperienced. They're raw. So we're going to have some troubles in defense this year. I mean, it's going to happen. There's a lot of, rookies in our secondary. So we're going to get scored on. But I think the defensive line is going to prevent and help us get some turnovers even. So I'm excited to the defensive line. I think it's good. I think Quinnen's injury, I'm not too concerned about it. I feel like he's already mentioned that he will be fine for start of camp, and things happen, and it was he got injured off, training camp, so off OTAs, and they're just trying to keep him out now just to heal up. So at this point, I'm very, very confident in the defensive line.
Yeah, I am as well. We'll see what happens. Again, Carl Lawson, I'm hoping that he has over 10 sacks this season. I don't think he's ever had that in his career. But again, we've seen the talent. We've seen this guy really be able to put that together, so I'm hoping he has over 10 sacks this season. I think it might be the first time in his career he'll have 10 sacks in a season. But dude, I'm telling you, if we can get some sacks without sending blitzers, if we can get a pass rush without sending blitzers, it's going to be unbelievable. I think the most he's ever had in one season, I think, was 8.5. I think it was. I think it was like 8.5 sacks.
I think Carl Lawson right now was probably our best big free agency get, and I think it was a perfect time in his career. It's perfect time to get him on our team. We know what he can do, and we know that he has more to give, and it's a perfect time for him to come to the Jets and break out as a stars pass rusher. So I think like there's so much to be excited for, man. Like I just can't wait till the season comes.
Oh man, I can't.
Yeah.
Listen, man, I got to get back to these lines, man. They are hot. I want to thank you for calling in tonight, my friend. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, all right? You have yourself a good night.
No doubt. You too. Take care.
All right.
Go Jets.
Take care. Listen, man, that was a heck of a call. We're going to keep getting to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639. Call in. We are talking Jets. Please be patient. We're going to get to everybody tonight. Got quite a bit of callers, but we're going to get to everybody. Just be patient. So we're going to keep on going. You know, again, if you're watching me, no matter where you're watching me from, please give my stream a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you have not subscribed already, and turn on your notifications so when this content goes up, you folks will be in the know. You can get to it, and we can talk Jets. Also, if you want to, donate to the stream, please do. You can hit the super chat. If you don't want to hit the super chat, Cash App is right there at the bottom of the screen. Send your boy something. You know what I'm saying? Send your boy something. It's all good. So salute to everybody watching. We're going to continue and get back to these lines. Next, I'm going to my guy, Steve, man. I'm going to Steve. I want to hear from Steve.
All right, here we go.
Steve, listen, you know what time it is, all right? Morgan Moses in the building, 1-year deal, $3.6 million base contract. I think he could make up to like 5.3 something or something like that. So give me your thoughts about us signing Morgan Moses, 1-year deal. How are you feeling about it, man?
Hey, Joe. Well, first of all, it's great to hear from you, man. It's just great to hear from you, man. And I'll tell you one thing, bringing in Morgan Moses is definitely a huge upgrade for the offensive line. I mean, everybody was all saying, the last, couple of weeks, why isn't Moses signed ever since after we brought him back in the building? I think maybe Moses probably wanted to go explore, other places, but he chose us, and I'm glad he chose us because we got another guy to come in to protect Zach. But the thing is that's so fired up about this, Joe, is that we have a guy that could finally, definitely, because he's a well-experienced offensive lineman, work with the other offensive linemen that don't have that much experience. Because obviously this is a 1-year guy, is 6'6". He's a big dude. He plays on the other side of Mekhi Becton. On the far side of Mekhi Becton is what I'm saying. But it's definitely a huge upgrade. I'll tell you one thing. It just feels so great being a Jets fan right now, especially if you've watched those 4 episodes of Flight 2021. My God, it was just incredible, Joe.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited as well. Like you said, I know I watched a little bit of that stuff and just all the things that you see there going into the Jets and what they're doing. But let me tell you something. This signing, man, this is solid. This is really solid, and it does nothing but bode well for our young quarterback as well. The protection we're going to be able to get up front is going to be big. The holes that we're going to be able to get open, I think, is going to be huge. I would have wished that we would have got more than just a 1-year deal, though. That's, maybe a 2-year deal. I would have liked that, but hey, he's on the field, or he's on the team, he's in the building. So I like the signing from that standpoint. But what are your thoughts about the right guard position there, Steve? Because there's a hole there. There's a gaping hole. And a lot of people are saying, hey, DeCastro is the answer. Do you believe that to be true? Would you like to see the New York Jets go after David DeCastro as well?
I mean, you always got to see, what kind of a contract he's going to be looking for. And you made a good point. The last couple of years, he has had issues with his ankle. But the thing is, if he is fully healthy, I would definitely go for it. But as of right now, I don't know if I would want to just yet because I would want him. If the Jets really are interested in signing him, he should take a physical first before making a splash at him. I wouldn't want to sign it. I wouldn't want to sign him yet. I mean, listen, I'm not a big fan of Greg Van Roten either, as the other caller said. But the thing is, Joe, something, Joe? The thing is, though, you got to understand with your offensive line too. Yes, your quarterback is important, but you got to have protection to protect your quarterback because we couldn't do anything, when Sam was here and, with other quarterbacks that we've had in the past. But finally, we have the GM that's finally building in the right direction. Let me tell you something, though, Joe. Listen, I don't know what the expectations are going to be for the Jets this year. It's moving in the right direction.
Yeah, it is, and we'll see what happens. We'll see if they go get DeCastro or where he shakes out and ends up. But I would not mind bringing him in. Like you said as well, there's some injury concerns, especially with that ankle. I want to see where he's at with that, if he's going to be good. Again, it's kind of telling to me that he's even contemplating, or at least the reports are that he's contemplating, retiring because, that's just where his mind is at right now. So he's thought about that. But so that's a little telling. But if he's able, to have his mind in the game and wants to come back and that ankle's okay, I wouldn't mind the Jets bringing him in. But if they don't, it's okay still because we got guys like Cam Clark. I think he's a guy that can shake out and end up maybe starting at that right guard position. But like everyone has said, Greg Van Roten and Alex Lewis, I have big questions about those guys, big questions, and I don't necessarily want to see them starting again at all. So going over to the defensive side of the football, though, Steve, let me tell you something. A lot of people are fired up. They're extremely excited about some of the players that we have on this football team going up front, man. We've really made some signings, particularly in the offseason. We went out and got Carl Lawson. We brought in Rankins as well. A lot of people, there's some people rating this defensive line very high within the NFL rankings. So I want to get your thoughts on it. When you look at this line right now, is there a guy that you see getting over 10 sacks this upcoming season?
Yeah, listen, Joe, I'm not going to just predict now of who's going to be, getting these amount of sacks. I just want the team to play well. But, if I had to look at someone right now, I would say Carl Lawson. But, something, Joe, listen, it's just I am excited about Robert Saleh's style of defense. It's just the only thing that just concerns me is that cornerback position. The cornerback position, to me, is a position that I'm a little bit worried about with the defense. I mean, listen, I do trust in the defensive coordinator and in Robert Saleh, but the thing is, though, the cornerback position is the position that I'm a little bit nervous about going into the season. I mean, listen, we have till August 14th to see our first preseason game, but it is still going to be very exciting.
Yeah, it is. We'll see what happens. And like you said, a lot of people are talking about Carl Lawson as well, being the guy, that's really going to be able to get over that 10-sack number. A lot of people are looking at him, and this was the expectation when we brought him in, that he was going to be the pass rusher that we needed, the pass rusher that the Jets have longed for so long, that he's going to be the guy to step in and really be able to put things together. But my final question for you, Steve, before I let you go is, there's a player that I think some people may be sleeping on. Again, Sheldon Rankins being brought in was awesome. Everyone's excited about Quentin Williams. Carl Lawson, like you just said as well, getting a lot of pub as being the guy that can come in and get us these sacks. He's going to be our pass rusher, the guy we've been looking for since John Abraham, walked out the door years ago. And John Franklin Myers is a guy that I think a lot of people are not talking about anymore. What are your thoughts about him going into the season, and do you think he's a guy that's really going to be able to go off within the pass rushing rotation this upcoming season?
Yeah, no, I think he'll definitely do. I mean, listen, John Franklin Myers was one of the guys I had high expectations for last year. I mean, he definitely showed a lot of promise last year. I like to see it again this year. I think he's going to definitely fit in Robert Saleh's defense. But like I said, Joe, one last thing before I know you let me go. Have you ever gotten a chance to watch the Flight episodes?
I watched a little bit of it. I haven't watched them all, but I watched a little bit of the first one. And I, watched some clips, and it's some solid work, man.
Definitely, man. Hey, listen, Joe, you have yourself a very, very good night, man. All gas, no break.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you have yourself a good night, Steve. Listen, Steve calling in with the fire, man. Steve calling in with the fire. Salute to him. Like I said, a lot of people are excited, man. A lot of people are excited about this Jets football team. They're excited about what the team, all the things that we could do. This offensive line, the way things are shaking up, the signings that we've got. and especially on the defensive side of the ball, they're all excited about the expectations of the players, man. You know, it's just a different code. It's a different mode here now. And everybody's buying in, again, because of the front office. You know, us bringing Joe Douglas in the building, him going to get guys like Sulla, who's really, you know, electrified this football team and electrified this building, man. So this is a good time to be a Jets fan, a very good time. But we're going to keep getting to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639. Call in. We're going to keep getting to these lines again. Please subscribe if you have not subscribed and turn on your notifications. Also, like my stream wherever you watching my stream from. I know I stream across multiple platforms. Give me some hearts. I know there's hearts on other platforms as well. And share my streams as well if you could. Also, if you want to donate, you can hit the Super Chat, or if you don't want to donate through the Super Chat, you can hit my Cash App. It's right there at the bottom of the screen. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to keep getting to these lines again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639. Call in. So we are now going to my guy. I think this is June. I'm going to right now. June, salute to you. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. June, we got Morgan Moses. He's in the building, 1-year deal. Give me your thoughts about it, man. How are you feeling about the situation? What are your thoughts about this offensive line now? June? 678? All right. Maybe, I guess we missed June. We're going to keep on getting to these lines. I'm going to my guy, 914. I'm coming directly to you. 914. Give me your thoughts about Morgan Moses. No, it's just 1-year deal. Give me your thoughts about Morgan Moses. How are you feeling about the situation with us giving him a 1-year deal here, $3.6 million base? How are you feeling about it, my friend? What are your thoughts about this Jets offensive line now?
Well, I like it. You know, it's an upgrade. You know, it helps depth. You can never have enough depth. It never hurts to have enough depth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a good signing, quality player. You know, to get quality starter at this time of the year is very, very good.
Yeah, it is. How are you feeling about the Jets possibly, you know, still going after David DeCastro? What are your thoughts about that?
It's the health. It depends on the health. And like I said, you know, it's like if he's on the fence about even playing, you know, stay close to keep obviously pay attention to it. But you know, if it looks like he's going to retire, don't mess with it, because we've already had a situation of the Jets trying to get someone to come out of retirement and not ending well.
Yeah. So my final question for you is, what are your thoughts about this Jets defensive line, man? Like, what player do you feel like is kind of being slept on the most along this defensive line?
It's a really tough question. I mean, it's versatile. There's a lot of depth, you know. I don't know. Probably, if I were going to say, look, everyone's obviously big. Quinn, Carl Lawson, but I think the guy probably getting slept on is probably Fatukasi. Probably a guy like maybe Fatukasi or John Franklin Myers.
Okay. Yeah, you know, I respect that. Listen, I want to thank you for calling in tonight. You have yourself a good night, my friend. It was great speaking to you. This guy, you know, he knew his stuff. He brought the fire, you know, really quickly for us. He absolutely did. We're going to keep going. We're going to get back to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639. Call in. We are taking all callers. We want to hear what your thoughts are about the New York Jets. Next, I'm going to my guy, John, man. I think it's my guy, John, right here. 347. We're coming directly to you. John, salutes to you. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. Give me your thoughts about this Morgan Moses signing. I'm all right. How are you feeling, man? Give me your thoughts about this Morgan Moses signing. How are you feeling about this 1-year deal?
I think it's great. I saw that today and was like, oh, my God, Joe Douglas actually got it done. I mean, in typical Joe Douglas fashion, a 1-year deal. He's the master of giving 1-year deals. But I understand it. Morgan Moses is he's 30 years old, right?
Yeah, he's around there. Yeah.
It makes sense. Maybe you sign him to this 1-year deal. He's definitely going to be an upgrade. You see how much he still has, how much tread on the tires he still has. And if you feel like he can be a longer contributor, you extend him afterwards or whatnot. But since he is up there in age, maybe the other side is something that you'd like to address later on, and he's just a Band-Aid. But at the end of the day, it's going to do enough to protect Zach for this year. And you can tell Joe Douglas has a plan, and he's not going to let what happened with Sam Darnold happen with Zach. So I love it. I love the signing.
Yeah, I do as well. I really wish it would have been a 2-year deal. You know, I'd like the 2-year deal, but but I'm not going crazy about it. I think a 1-year deal, I think it's $3.6 million base. I think you can make up to like $5.3 million. I like the signing. You're coming in, you bring a guy into the building that can start it for you at right tackle. You know, again, in case Mekhi Becton goes down, you can swing Fant over to that left tackle position, and he can hold the fort there so things just won't go awry like we saw in the past season. So I like this. I like the signing.
A lot more flexibility with the line.
Exactly. So I like what we've done here. I like what we do. But the big question for us now is, what's going to happen with this right guard position? I know that there's some people that look at it and say, hey, Cam Clark, that's his position. He's penciled in. There's still some people saying, maybe Greg Van Roten and Alex Lewis fight for it. Then there's others saying, hey, DeCastro, he's out there. Let's go after him. What are your thoughts about the options there at right guard? And is DeCastro a guy that you want to see the Jets go after?
So I heard you mention DeCastro earlier in the show. Is that actually something the Jets are interested in? Are they interested in bringing in DeCastro?
Well, I mean, there's all kind of rumors out there, but, officially we haven't heard a lot of reports that they're just like, chasing after him left and right. He just got out there. Again, there's a lot of questions. There's still questions about that ankle. There's still questions about, again, there's reports that he's contemplated retirement, so we'll see what happens there. But he's a guy that people are looking at and saying, hey, if the Jets bring him in, he can absolutely be a starter there at right guard. And he's a guy that can fill the position. And there's some Jets fans that are extremely excited about the possibility of the Jets bringing him in as well.
I would see what the medical checks out with. He would definitely be an upgrade over what the Jets have at the right guard at the moment. But at the same time, if he's not if you feel he's not 100% or you feel like he's not that much better than the potential of Cameron Clark or whatnot, maybe you weigh those options there. If Cameron Clark is maybe just from what you evaluated from Cameron Clark so far, it's just maybe a little bit worse than DeCastro at this point of his career, then I would just say stick with Clark. But we also haven't heard much about Clark from any kind of training camp or anything. So I don't know how they feel about that, but I would weigh my options there. Obviously, if an older guy and a younger guy are close, you go with the younger guy.
Yeah. We'll see what happens there and how it shakes out. But Joe is really feeling out this offensive line, and he's bettered it. He's making sure that Zach Wilson will not be running for his life and having the same issues that Sam Darnold has. And so that really bodes well for our future. Go ahead.
If you don't mind me interrupting for a moment, I was talking to my brother a little while ago. My brother's a big Jets fan. And we were like, we get why Joe Douglas, is building the way he is. He's working all the McCagnon out of the roster right now. With the exception of a few players like May. Mosley, I feel like he probably tried to get what he could from Mosley. Remember, there was that time he was fielding some trade rumors for Mosley. Probably couldn't because of that contract. But he restructured Jameson Crowder. Joe Douglas has a way of saying he's going to do something and then doing the complete opposite. So I really do hope he is going to sign May and hope that doesn't end up like a Jamal Adams situation. But he's slowly but surely building the roster and getting all the McCagnon out of it.
Yeah, he is. He's doing his thing. He's the anti-McCagnon. I'll tell you what. He knows what to do in the draft. Yeah, he's not, blowing through mid-round picks. He's putting things together. So I like the direction that Joe Douglas is putting us in. Now, John, I want to go to the defensive side of the football with you because I'm really excited about the possibilities for this defensive line. We got Carl Lawson in the building. He's a guy I'm extremely excited about because he's the only guy, when you look at is a pass rusher. We haven't had a pass rusher since John Abraham. That was years ago. You know what I'm saying? And people are so hyped about him and what he could possibly bring to the Jets. But my question for you is, do you think that this is going to be the first season in his career where we'll see him get over 10 sacks?
As much as I want to be an optimist, I'm going to say no. But I think he'll be a very productive player. Carl Lawson has never been the guy who's going to like he's not a Khalil Mack or a Myles Garrett or I don't know. I can't think of another. Von Miller in his prime. He's not that guy. He's primarily going to win with speed off the edge, but he'll be a very good player. There's no doubt. Cincinnati downgraded when they went from Carl Lawson to Trey Hendrickson. I think Lawson is a much better player than him. I don't think he's going to be the world beater pass rusher. I honestly think next year in the draft, Douglas is probably still going to try to find that guy. But this is going to be the first pass rusher that the Jets are going to have in a long time, and I think he's going to be a very good player. He's a really good player. I just don't know if he's like that top-tier pass rusher.
Okay. So how many sacks do you think he gets this season then?
I think if he gets 8 around that area, 7, 8, 9, I would say that's a very good year. Pass rushers really don't – the top-tier pass rushers really don't get to the open market. So if you could find a guy in free agency the way Joe did and he produces like that, that's a win-win. Absolutely. And by no means is defense even a finished product. So, I'd take that any day.
Yeah. Ooh, you are spitting fire right now, John. You're completely right. Those top-tier guys, man, those guys that get to the quarterback early and often have those big numbers, you rarely see them hit the market. But like you said, if he can come in and give us solid pass rush, and even if it's not sacks, even just pressure or hurries would help the New York Jets.
Anything to just
help the Jets. You know what I'm saying?
Play.
Yeah, anything like that would help us. I mean, we've had to bring blitzes for so long to even get that going. You know what I'm saying? Just a change of pace there would really help us. But another guy that we brought in as well, Sheldon Rankin. A lot of people are really loving his attitude, what he brings to the table. What are your thoughts about him, and what are your expectations for him in this defense, man?
So I like Sheldon Rankin as a player. I really do. But his concern has been just staying on the field, right? Yes,
it has been. Yes.
When he's on the field, he's a really good player. He's a really good disruptor. He can actually get to the quarterback despite playing he's a defensive tackle. He can do some stuff to force pressures, get to the quarterback, but his issue is just that he needs to stay on the field. So if he can, I think he's a great addition. If not, I mean, it's not a deal that's going to hamper you by any means, but he has potential. It's just a matter of staying on the field. I do like what was being built on the defensive line, but he has good potential. I'm really excited to see Quinnen next to him. I think that'll be fun to watch. Those two as a tandem. But he himself, I just really hope he can stay on the field.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to talk to you about as well, because I know a lot of people are extremely excited about Quinnen. I am as well. We've seen those flashes. We've seen him come in and really put things together and show us that he can be a complete beast. And we all have been like, wow, we're so excited. We can't wait, to see that big breakout season where he just gets dominant and remains dominant and finishes the season and doesn't, get an injury. And last year we were kind of seeing a bit of that, and then we saw the injury, and then he ended up, on IR and missing, some games. And so I'm hoping that this season he can come in and be solid. But again, with that foot injury, they don't know when he's going to be, kind of heal up from that. Some people are saying in training camp. Some people are saying it may play into the preseason. You just talked about it as well. I think it was a caller a couple of calls ago just talked about it, that he'd be excited if he misses maybe 1 or 2 games in the season and then is able to really get going. So we'll see what we get out of Quinnen this year. But I'm really hoping to see that breakout season from him where he just stands out and becomes that really dominant defensive player that we need, down in and down out. I really am looking for that.
He really does.
Yeah, he really, really does. I mean, this guy, he's just a monster out there, and he's so unbelievably strong and explosive. Now, I want to get to talk to you about this as well. There's a guy that I feel like has kind of fallen back a bit. People are even saying that he might not, be a starter, particularly in this scheme with this 4-3. You look at this situation here now that Sulla's brought in. What are your thoughts about Foley Fadukasi's role now? Do you see him as a starter? Because a lot of people have, Rankins and Quinnen Williams pinned into that defensive tackle position. They've got Lawson and Curry kind of pinned in as the starting DNs. Where do you think Foley falls into that, man?
Fadukasi, I don't think he's a starter, but I think he'd be a good depth player. He's a good guy that you're going to get in a rotation. He's a guy you feel comfortable with being able to just generate pressures. He did show some potential last year that he's able to get to the quarterback, but I wouldn't he's a good depth piece. I would say that. I like him in that role. I think he'd be much better in that role than an every down player.
Okay. What are your thoughts about John Franklin Myers, man? Because he's a guy that I'm extremely excited about. He's one of the guys that I really feel, especially in the rotation of, the defensive line rotation.
Yeah.
He's a guy I think is going to benefit like crazy because of the other talent that we picked up. And I feel like a lot of people are not talking about him at all when they talk about this Jets defense or even this Jets defensive line. What are your thoughts about him, and do you think that this is a season he's just really going to go off because of everything that's surrounding him?
So he's definitely going to benefit from having everybody else around him. Quinn is going to demand double teams. Rankin at his best can probably demand double teams. Lawson over there. He's definitely, and he I sort of feel somewhat similarly to him as I do Fatukasi, but way stronger about Franklin Myers. Franklin Myers has been more in that role of having to start and play, and he's actually produced a lot more than you would expect. He's a good player. Franklin Myers, especially in that rotational role, he'll be coming off the bench fresh while offensive linemen are tired, having to deal with Quinn in all game. He's going to have a lot of opportunities. He's going to have a good opportunity to show that he's a good player. He is. And so I'm very excited for him.
Yeah, I am as well. Listen, John, this has been a phenomenal call from you. My final question before I let you go, man, is what are your thoughts about Zuniga? Because we brought in this 4-3, and there's some people saying that he's going to benefit being in that 4-3, that's a scheme that fits him more. How do you feel like Zuniga's going to be able to perform this year, man? Do you think we'll see something out of him and really get that spark going? Because there's some people that are down on him or have been down on him since we drafted him.
So I'm going to say I'm also a Florida fan, for college football. So I watched Zuniga, and I was very shocked that he was as invisible as he was last year. We play a 4-3 at Florida, so I think he'll be much more comfortable in the scheme. He's a guy a little similar to Lawson, but a little bit more power in his game than speed. I hope he can work out getting in a rotation because between him and Polite, which I know they drafted Polite as well, and that also didn't work out. I would say Zuniga I was much higher on coming out of the draft than Polite. It's just weird how invisible he was, but Salah's probably going to find a way to get something out of him, and I would say remain hopeful for him.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. Like you said as well, maybe the scheme change will definitely benefit him, and we'll see more out of him. Listen, John, this was a phenomenal call from you. Studio audience, give this man a hand, man. Give him a hand. Give him a hand. Not too much studio audience. You know what I'm saying? I don't pay y'all for that. I'm not gonna pay you. The more you clap doesn't mean come on, guys. Let's be respectful here. You know what I'm saying? But again, John, salute to you, man. This was a great call from you. Listen, next time I have a show, man, I want to hear from you, man, because I love hearing your takes and I love what you bring, bro.
Definitely, I enjoy calling in, Joe. Thank you.
Absolutely. You have yourself a good night, my friend.
You too. Good night.
Man, John brought the fire, man. Yeah, John brought the fire, man. We've had a heck of a show, man. It's been so exciting. The New York Jets, there's so many positive vibes, surrounding the Jets right now and everything that we're doing. Like I said, man, this Morgan Moses signing really, really continues to bode well for our offensive line. Our offensive line has changed, man. God, man, you think about last season, how bad we were up front. Oh, the struggles, the pressure coming directly from the middle of the line, our guards just falling apart every second, man. Oh, that was a painful season last season. And Joe Douglas has looked at the situation, he's assessed things, and he's turned it around, man. He's turned it around. We made quite a bit of quality signings. Then he continues to address the offensive line. He continues to bolster it. He continues to make it better. And he continues to just allow options, too. He's not drastically overpaying for people like we've seen in the past. Mike McCagnon was overpaying for offensive linemen left and right, man. Whew. Goodness gracious. Those times are over. I'm so glad that we're in a different spot now, We have a competent general manager, a competent front office that understands what they're doing. It's tough being a Jets fan, bro. It really is. It's tough, but so I'm going to go ahead and close out the show, folks. This has been a phenomenal show. I've really enjoyed talking to you folks about the Jets. This has been amazing, man. Just so many things going on. Again, we'll continue shows throughout this offseason. You know, going into the season, again, we'll continue those shows as well and continue having fun talking about this football team and everything that we have going. So listen, I'm the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on The Long Beach Joe Show. I'm also on Twitter as well at YoungJ000. That's YoungJ000. Go ahead and follow me. I'll follow you right back. You want to troll me? No issues. I am the troll that lives under the bridge, and I will have my Vera Tucker jersey on at all times. At all times, I will have my Vera Tucker jersey on. Do you understand that? USC, fight on. He is going to, I'm telling you, listen, I understand we're all excited about Morgan Moses. Mekhi Becton, phenomenal, okay? But if you want to get, you know, a quality offensive lineman, you pick a Trojan, okay? You pick a Trojan, and that's exactly what we did. Traded up to get him. He is going to be throwing people around next season like bags of potatoes. It's going to be nothing to him. Nothing. He's going to destroy people. I cannot wait to watch it. So if you troll me, just know I'm down there with Vera Tucker, and we'll be ready. You know what I mean? I'm also on YouTube as well. My YouTube is Long Beach Joe Jets. Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube. Please subscribe, turn on your notifications, give my videos a thumbs up. You want to troll me over there? No issues. I'm the troll that lives under the bridge, okay? I'll troll you right back on there. We'll go back and forth in the comments. Always, people, when you see me in person, okay, it is arms out, chest open, free hugs for everyone. Free hugs for everyone. The hugs will cost you absolutely nothing, okay? Straight free hugs, especially in these times, all right? The hugs will cost you nothing. No matter what people tell you, the hugs will always remain free. I want to thank you folks for listening. Without you people, I'm absolutely nothing, all right? Thank you folks for listening and taking the time out of your day to call in as well. Again, everyone, Ohio Jets Fan Club, please go over there. Mac Levins is really doing great things over there, man. He's got a great club over there. They really get together, have a good time. They watch these games together, and they have just a bunch of fun, man. So everyone, please go over to that Facebook page, search Ohio Jets Fans. You know, click up with Mac if you're in the area and sit down with your brothers and sisters in green and just have a good time. So, again, I want to thank you folks for listening. You folks have a good one. Peace.